times. It has just been some of the stuff they've been doing has been outlandish. But they've changed up the composition. It was one of the things that people were highly critical of for Northeption. Playing that Neon on bind. Now they're playing these mirror comps here in the pistol round.
And the question is, how much experience do they have at this?
What?
Meteor swings out, manages to work off the damage that his teammates did. Look how weird this position is for Fox. He's on the B site.
And the spike is starting to get planted.
XERXIA have control of both of the sites, but
they're already behind
the map.
Yeah, they're already behind them right now into short. Reali holding up onto the smokes now, wants to drop some of them down. Ensuring that no players just hiding closed inside of it.
And this trademark makes sure that Cruz and
Another
Scary
reflank,
still
by the
have
way.
their post-plant positions.
Scary's just trying to retake control of the positioning! The fight being found, but Scary comes out on top. Reali now just trying to swarm onto the site, take a bit of space, but that's Zen. He's got the movement, got the ghost in his hands. Not a lot of life to work with, but he still might be able to do enough damage. The Brim Molly is going to do decent amounts of work, just buying time off the clock, but the peak is there, and there we have it. Bingo. XERXIA winning that pistol round.
Really nice. I think a key focus for XERXIA on this attack half is going to be Cruz and Scary. They play really passive after the plant has been secured because they're looking to use the snake bites, the mollies, and just play for the clutch. On the other side of things, we do not know what to expect from Northeption. I have watched Meteor play Chamber. I thought his jet looked quite a bit better, but his current form of what he was able to showcase on Haven, if he's able to take that over into Bind, this could be a big win condition in the head-to-head against Surf.
That's what they're looking for. It's a lot more difficult though if you're used to playing that jet because it offers you more freedoms.
Well,
there's the head-to-head Surf. He's not letting his foot off the gas, is he?
No, he's got a point to prove after Haven, where he went 6-16 with double-digit ACS. No, I am the better Chamber, actually.
I'll match him in it. There's no time to react. Bullets sent flying right into showers, but only one player remaining, Reali. And yeah, Classic's not going to be able to do much from that range.
Northeption are normally great in these next upcoming rounds, the anti-bonus, but we really don't know how built out is their bind composition and game plan overall.
How much time have they really had?
It's a very basic comp. There's a lot of teams that run it, so I'm sure they're familiar with it to some degree, into watching other teams, playing against other teams that run this kind of stuff. But their bread and butter has been the Neon recently.
Yeah, leaning into it for binds, but I mean, it got absolutely dismantled, didn't it? 13-1 makes people rethink certain life choices.
So a flash early on into sewers, and Meteor's taken the TP. He can use his rendezvous to get out here.
He'll be going back to B as well if you look at the positioning of it.
He's going to be going over the blue cubby.
Okay. Giving it up now, the orb just dropped. Reali forced now to use that molly to try and push them back. No noise really being made.
And Meteor's actually worked his way over to A, hoping that this would prompt a reactive A hit. And it looks like they are backing up a little bit.
Walking all the way through. Blackwood's on the other side of things. He's also contacted into showers. Now the Trailblazer, looks like there is that pace once more behind this one. A decision has been made, but they haven't wasted out any of this Viper util still. XERXIA boys just trying to go for a bit of a satchel play. Moves himself behind the box, but
here comes Blackwiz.
Yeah, doesn't quite get his head ripped off. Now Blackwiz with his timing.
He can hop up on top of the box. He'll be able to get an angle.
Right over his smoke, and they're going to anticipate it. They think it's completely clear. 3 kills wrapped up in his team. Oh, capitalizing off the chaos. 4 kills in a round for him. Impeccable work with the lurks.
Northeption do not lose anti-bonus rounds. You just can't start 3-0 against this team. Blackwiz with an awesome play off the back of a really fast flank from showers. And XERXIA tried to stop people doing that by sending an early Sky Flash there. And when you get a Sky Flash in your face and you're holding showers, you think, oh, there's probably people here.
Yeah.
But Blackwiz was not put off, still found a great timing, and was able to flank back through short and stop the momentum early here on Bind. I think this Viper head-to-head is going to be so interesting to watch. Blackwiz getting the early upper hand, but Scary's the player that people respect. He hasn't actually been that great, though, in their LAN performances. He plays way better online. So he really needs to turn up in these moments.
Quick little jiggle. Bit of spam. Burst the bullets sent through just to see if they can gather a bit of control of it. The Boombot spots a player close. Meteor have to opt to reposition. Instead, he just looks to try and take a fight a bit further forwards. This is just really playing with death, aren't you?
Surf, though, has found a pick from long. Oh, and that
The orbital strike! Disgusting! Right into the corner. You can't escape it. You're taken out. But Meteor's still tucked into this corner. He's found one as a response. Only 3 players left alive, but you have to take the fight there. That was a snake bite. And the Molotov all sent through.
Look at the amount of respect they're giving to him, though. They paused that entire site hit just to combo utility to deal with Meteor.
Make sure that they can take him out.
Yeah. Having flashbacks to getting rolled by him on Haven. But this was a great response from XERXIA. Extremely diligent in terms of clearing out Hookah, investing a lot of utility there. And it's not the most elaborate round in the world, it's not the most crazy default, but they just work their way up long, take it fairly easily, post up the operator for a pick, punish the players holding Hookah, exec into the site. I think keeping it simple is going to be the best chance of success against Northeption. You want to avoid the chaos as much as possible.
Yeah. Getting into more familiar territory. And I think with Northeption playing a composition, obviously making that switch, going from the Neon comp to playing this now, certainly something I think that XERXIA are looking to capitalize off of, because they're going to be a bit more unfamiliar with how the pieces of this comp work together. It's a common comp, don't get me wrong.
It is.
It's been played, you know, across many regions, but it's one thing to, you know, watch games being played of it, to play against it, and actually use it yourself.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Meteor's got the tour de force here, and he went for an early Hookah peek on the pistol round, was wondering if he was going to go for that again, but instead he's just depositing a trademark over in Hookah, and he makes his way back over to A. He's not going to have enough time to get onto an early angle with this op in hand. Instead, just kind of pops it down over towards Heaven.
Just end up using that stim beacon just to try and take a faster approach onto this angle.
Really early snakebite nade from Northeption. Doesn't actually tick any time off the clock or allow them to re-clear showers. And Meteor's positioning is so passive because he was late to set up on the defense. Again, I think that might be a sign of just a bit of discomfort with the new comp.
Of course, yeah. If you've mainly been playing Jet, I mean, we see it a lot actually early on when Chamber was released. A lot of Jet players trying to move over, and you know, it doesn't offer you as many freedoms. You have to think about your rendezvous, your teleports. You have to set them down ahead of time.
Okay, Jojo's in a nasty position here. Could flash off Deriali's contact. Deriali tucks though, and now they've both got util in their hands.
Smoked. Drop down, has to kill the Trailblazer, but getting caught out still. Spray down from Cruz. 2 players removed from the fight. Sushi Boys as well. He's going to be taking up that Hookah control, knowing that no players really to just stop him in his tracks. Okay, Cruz.
That's a nice lineup from Blackwiz. A long, long way away, throwing those snake bites. The spike still gets planted. Can Meteor pull magic out?
Secret spots him, so they know there's another one in elbow. It's all about this tour de force, isn't it? What value can Meteor find? But retaking B can, I mean, at the best of times, be a horrible task. Still with that one, he might have opened things up quite nicely. Is there going to be the double face there? 2 players left, and he ones into him! Foxy
had no idea what was going on in that final moment. Just scrambled in the 1v1.
Straight into him.
And Meteor makes sure to empty the chamber, so he still gets the ult or point as well. That defensive setup in the 3v2 is giving too much respect, in my opinion, to Meteor. Look at the replay. I mean, once we get into the clutch situation, but they're scared of the tour de force, they're scared of Meteor, and that just gives Meteor a lot of space. And then towards the end, I think Foxy assumes Meteor's already pushed into sight.
Yeah, I don't know.
A little awkward.
It's a very interesting one. And it's the Northeption timeout.
Yeah.
They're taking this off the back of winning our round.
I mean, maybe you're already queued expecting the B retake not to
work out.
Not to be as successful as it was. Those are the moments that Meteor's going to give you. And that is the case when you have star players. When you have players that the opponents respect, they are given more room to clutch. That's why good clutch players end up clutching even more than they should.
They get a reputation.
They get a reputation, and then that reputation makes their opponents respect them and not challenge them.
Yeah.
And the trade
get extra time to simmer.
Swing round as well. When we get back into the game, take a look at the economy there. If one team's able to get the edge, they're going to start snowballing, get into a better position, and ask some questions of whether or not you want to force buy on the other side of things. There's a couple of players with, they're kind of scrimping and saving to put a buy together.
Yeah. Maybe approach here from Northeption. Flash straight deep into Fountain for information, and look at that judge in the hands of Blackwiz. Seen some, I mean, just absolutely ludicrous plays, haven't we, with these shotguns?
Blackwiz doesn't quite have the movement abilities, though, that Meteor had access to on Haven.
Yeah. I think XERXIA as well, they seem very aware in terms of the Ortorps might be being played by Northeption. They're just holding outside showers, making sure that they can slowly pressure Hookah. Black was forced to use his own snake bite, but it actually cut across. I think it rebounded close to him.
They're trying to put this pressure over towards B, keep 3 players there, while slowly, cautiously taking showers control.
Oh boy.
You can see this is going to end A. The question is, do Northeption get the read? And now that things slow down, and now that the flash and the dog have been used over at B,
dog, is there anyone
3
to break
players now A.
They are going to be respecting it. Aware that it could be, but Meteor, look at this guy. Still holding down the angle, he does not care. Fox is taken out, teleports back to safety, right up top, a flick up to the side, doesn't find his mark, but now the smoke's dropped down and the players are swarming onto the site. XERXIA just trying to make the most of it, only 30 seconds left into the round. Deriali playing inside, one of his own in the team. Oh, Northeption. Ready, prime game and flawless. Money can start to get built.
They had the read so early and so perfectly on where that was going to end. Despite the best efforts of XERXIA, they just didn't push people back enough over towards B. They needed hookah control, they needed to make sure that the Sky utility didn't get information. You can see on the minimap here as they're taking the fight, there are 4 Northeption players waiting, holding for each other. There's not a single angle left unchecked as XERXIA try and muscle their way into the site. And I said there were going to be questions asked. Do you want to force in this round? And XERXIA have decided, yes, we're going to force with a Guardian, with a Headhunter, and they lose a player immediately.
It's a double swing at different elevation. It might work if the players can get the timing right, but just not quite this time. A response from Fox. Jojo's going to be falling, making it the 4v4. As soon as you hear that, Judge, you've got to put the fear of God into him. I mean, you are worried about pushing this one. Blackwiz just using that snake bite, making sure that he can hold these angles. So much utility being committed into this to try and clear him out.
And for Blackwiz, the floor is lava. Oh, Fox, the timing through the Viper wall.
Right through the wall, a reposition. Players still ready and waiting. Vulnerability applied, gives him the one, but it is traded. XERXIA can start to take space. Well, okay, orbital strike, that's going to be dropped. Spike is down though, and the players managed to just back away.
Yeah, that's a rendezvous from Surf and Scary inside his Viper's pit. Picks off Deriali. Meteor could go for this one, but it's almost impossible.
Retaking of an op into the Viper's pit, yeah.
He has the money, but I think making the right play here, just backing off and saving it. Any exit kills would still be valuable, but again, really difficult even to go for that as Scary's Viper's Pit extends into back halls. Yeah. And the way the XERXIA are approaching these B site hits is very good. I think leaning more B than A is going to be a decent idea for them heading deeper into this half. Because the Northeption defense is very heavy about just remaining in hookah. And it's weakening their long control, it's weakening their site hold as well. You can see Fox just ran in.
There's so much emphasis being placed on that hookah control and that hold.
Yeah, and I think that's going to end up being a bit of a flaw for Northeption. It does look like hookah's almost impenetrable, but they can afford to send 3 players to flush out Blackwiz.
They trade it.
Because Fox has already taken the site.
Round 4. Very back and forth. The previous maps we were witnessing these long stretches of teams winning round after round after round, but this time it's an even match.
Flashes on either side here. Spike leaning over towards Showers. These beginnings to the round, the A side leaning default has not been particularly successful for XERXIA. Keep getting picked off over towards Showers.
Yeah. The boom bot being dropped down. Zen trying to buy a bit of space. his teammate, who did cross over to that side. The Viper Wall blocks the sight line on top of it, so...
There are 4 players looking to rotate immediately here, just because Meteor is holding B
They're in
long.
on short. XERXIA have already taken all this space as well, giving it up, but they do not clear that corner! They don't expect him! Right around the side! Showers controlled, maintained, and they are in full control of this A site.
And these A site hits are just not it from XERXIA. Their coordination's severely lacking, they don't have Showers control. And Scary can try do what he might. They're not getting through this one. Northeption are doing a great job of gathering information on B and then just gamble stack it. They're not going to fake towards Showers and disappear.
That's a super dangerous move on Bind. With the teleporters in play.
Yeah, it is. It should be punishable. But XERXIA haven't figured out that they're doing it yet. And also, the A site hits are just commanding no respect, really. I suppose they are rotating players, but they're still committing to the site and getting crushed.
Nice. Nice.
Northeption do look competent with this new composition. They are leading in terms of the gun rounds that we've seen so far here. And now they've knocked XERXIA back down to an eco.
Money not good. Ults are there. If they choose to use them, but look at these Northeption players tucked into the corner. This is incredibly precarious. They are just contacting all the way up behind it.
This is just based on information in prior rounds. They know nobody holds lamps, there's no
Doesn't
trademark.
expect it. Just thought it was the one player still lurking through. Northeption, they have bodies, they have guns to try and hold it down. But they've given a bit of space still up to XERXIA. Showstopper committed. Zen just wants to drop it down, even forces one of the teleports.
2 teleports. And do they go back to A? They do.
Wrap around.
How do Northeption adjust to this?
I mean, this is just ridiculous. A minute on the clock, they're looking to retake Showers control.
Oh, perfect reposition. I mean, I love this from Jojo. He's gathering info, but also he's gonna just be in the perfect spot to deny the plant once Scary and Cruz get back to A.
Yeah, they can just crush any sort of attempt to try and plant on
The same contact down short.
You've got to be joking. Did they even get any better weaponry? No, they just doubled up and it's so weak. Nade back online for Zen.
30 seconds left.
Cruz does find that one, the aim punch assisting him, but yeah, does not expect the reposition, does he?
And Jojo, it was a gorgeous idea with the 2 going through. There was a trademark in Hookah as well that entire time. So they knew that it was going to come back to A.
Yeah.
If you don't break the trademark in Hookah, I mean, where have you
just
gone?
can't fake it.
Where have you gone in the teleporter? You've gone all the way to B long? Even if you've done that, it's likely you end up TPing back over into Showers. So very smart decision making by Jojo, I think. Look at Sushi Boys, all the way at the bottom of the scoreboard. 1 and 7 on the attack side, playing entry. Same kind of story as their split. Sushi Boys needs to step up and be delivering them more of these frags, more of these entries, and take the load off the rest of the team. Here comes Northeption.
What a push all the way through. Long control gained. Even a kill for the troubles. And look at this now, an instant response. The answer, the stun is dealt with, but not before he finds one of his own, and the spray down. Cruz is working with the Vandal, but 2 heads once more.
Spike planted.
Black was forced to just fast rotate.
And I like the decision making there from Sushi Boys too. His decision making was really good on split defense as well. So it's not like he's playing terribly.
Just repeat this.
Yeah, I don't think this is winnable with the orbital strike.
It's really not.
The problem. And Scary's already reflanking too.
Cruz is looking up to the sky like he's got a molly lineup as well. So he finds the one, but look, it's just dropped down. Unless it's whiffed. I mean, time's just going to be bled off the clock. He's got nothing to work with. He has to get on this immediately. The snakebite finding it, he is just falling so low, and it's so well played by XERXIA.
Yeah, and that's the thing. As soon as you see Cruz and Scary left alive at the end of these rounds, they are going to have post-plant lineups from every position on the map.
Yep.
They're just going to have them everywhere. That's the key element of how they're playing post-plant in these comps. What a beautiful trade from Cruz as he sprays down 2 of those players. Like I said, the actual decision-making there was really good from Sushi Boys and Cruz to read the B-long aggression with 3 players and instantly take hookah control. They tie this back up at 5 apiece.
2 rounds one way, another.
Play, let's play.
Just going back and forth.
Incredibly back and forth.
It's a deep lineup just to feign that they could be lurking up A shore. I mean, they've done it a couple of times. So they're on their attack side.
It's one of the first times that Northeption are putting a heavy emphasis on defending that area. They have a trademark, an operator, and Blackwiz playing all around short.
Scary going for this Snakebite lineup. This is actually going to be landing, I think, at the top of B long. Something that Fnatic popularized. The dog as well to try and take some space off of it. But there's a deep smoke in B long. Not going to be able to capitalize and take any space off of it.
It looks like this is supposed to be the same exact where they put pressure towards B and end A. This round has been getting red over and over again.
Oh no.
Northeption have always been able to win. Do they make the rotate this time? Flash, B long, doesn't see anything. They're already starting to move.
That was an op shot as well from Meteor on the top of the truck. Taking a bit of contact, teleport it back.
The time is ticking so low here.
37 seconds left. The players are still split.
Where are they going? They're so indecisive here.
Yeah, no other loss, honestly, for answers. They're just trying to solo fake, I think, with Sushi Boys. The nade! He takes so much damage. Blackwiz is there, ready and waiting. There's 20 seconds. Where is the spike going to end? The wall is up, taking so much decay damage, but eventually they pincer him, they take him out. Spike going to start to get planted. Meteor wasn't able to watch down these sight lines.
The key component was getting rid of Blackwiz, who was in cubby, spamming out the snake bites, trying to hold back the horde. Northeption on the retake.
Shocked that they managed to get this into the post plan, but now they can start to hold these positions.
Watching here.
And this retake, that's a difficult one. Surf's got the one. Trademark dropped the slow field. Meteor's able to return a bit of fire, but you're just losing so many players to try and help it. And guess what? The longer you take, the less likely it looks.
Yeah, there goes that molly. Player advantage as well.
Just gotta save.
And Northeption, yeah, they simply have to save this one. XERXIA, at least 6 rounds have been able to be covered in this half. I think that's extremely respectable considering how poor their A hits have been. I think that might be the only one that they've managed to execute effectively.
Yeah. And even then it was all over the place.
It was late, sure, but I think they actually played the clock relatively well. One of the big differences is that Northeption didn't get the read that it was an A hit.
Yeah.
There weren't 4 players waiting for them. There was only 2, in fact. And look at how well they dealt with Blackwiz. Just patient, not trying to force the fight even though there was only 20 seconds. I mean, I was getting panicked.
Yeah.
Don't think they were.
So short, but they squeeze it out. One final round left in this first half here. The final map of this elimination game.
One of these teams is going to be going home at the end of Bind.
Yeah. This is a snakebite that we were seeing earlier, just from the lineup. Comes from Scary as well. It allows them to keep and hold control of A short, just in case there is a lurk on the defending side. But this double push out of showers, oh, they're going to be meeting Meteor. Trailblazer gets broken. They have to anticipate that he could be posted up on this angle, and it looks like they are moving away from it.
There isn't very much map control over by B, and they're starting to run out of good utility to push Meteor away. No Trailblazer, no flash.
You're contacting in! How does he get that?
Wow, Fox just stood a little too close to the angle there. Meteor sees him first.
Tries to take the fight again, but Meteor's going to get punished. The double satchel in, the spray is not quite good enough. Orbital strike, it does split the team up. They can't follow themselves into the site. They can't take control of their duelists.
And there's no map control here.
They're
If
going right
Blackwiz
back
can
to
get
Blackwiz.
one and drop off,
Guns aren't quite ready, and they've got their knives out. 35 seconds left. Viper's Pit online. Why not just drop it? A nade on top of it. Scary's gonna fall. 6-6. It's pure chaos, man. It's pure chaos.
but it is a very good half from Northeption, considering they don't have very much experience with this composition. Blackwiz has suddenly turned up out of nowhere and become a monster of a player for them on that defensive side.
Yeah.
He was able to grab a lot of value. The rotates were intelligent too. Northeption still believe that they are going to advance in this tournament.
Nice.
It's all going to get decided in the next half.
Right down to the wire, isn't it? As even as it can be. Let's take it down to the analyst desk to break down the half that we just seen.
Honestly, it couldn't go any other way here, and I'm thrilled that it is, and that both of these teams are slugging it out on Bind like this. Welcome everyone to the half. Golden Boy here alongside with Doug and Jess. And Jess, you know, one thing's for certain, just the way that Meteor is playing, the composition that they busted out here in Northeption, it has been awesome to see them execute it so well.
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to see a little bit out of Meteor. We thought we might have a bit of a change off of the Neon. We weren't sure what we'd get, and instead we got Meteor Chamber instead of Zinfree going back to the Chamber himself, but he's going to jump onto the race, and as a result, look at where we're currently sitting. Surf being diffed? Surf being diffed?
What a time to be alive,
What
kids.
a time to be alive.
What a time
That's
to be
exactly
alive.
right. It's the half, mind you, and he was on the defensive half, so you hope that as the half switch occurs, this changes up. But Doug, looking pretty for North right now.
Yeah, I think the setup is perfectly poised to see who's going to be able to win it out at the end of the day. From the beginning of the series up until now, we've talked about that duel. Surf and Meteor, who's going to come out on top, who's going to be able to deliver on the stage. I think the thing that's difficult for me is it's like my heart is telling me to believe and my mind is telling me not to, and I want to believe so bad that Northeption can do this, because I think the writing's on the wall. But I know the second I believe, I'm gonna have the rug pulled out of under me.
I know, it's either them like being like sayonara or arigato gozaimasu. It's like thank you very much or goodbye. Like where am I sitting with this? I don't know. But whatever they give us in this second half, their attacks have to be pack mentality again. It has to be Haven-esque.
And Black Wiz, Josh said it, has been a monster.
Yeah.
Again, out of nowhere, his Viper has been so good. And now that they're switching halves, like there's more opportunity for him to do Black Wiz things.
All right, well, you heard from the desk. It's tied 6-6 right here on Bind. Winner moves on, loser goes home. Brennan Sideshow, over to you.
Thank you very much, Desk Crew. And yeah, it's time to close this one out. One team will be leaving today off the back of this matchup. It's an elimination game here in the pistol round.
XERXIA with a 4-player stack over towards B. It looks like a bit of a trap play, though, more than any form of early aggression. Reading that this is going to be a B hit, and the spike is in the right place. That flash, even though it landed on top of Sushi Boy's head, could just let them know that Fox is over there.
Yeah,
Trailblazer confirms.
So hard over control of B long here on the pistol. They do not want to give anything up. A bit of random spam. Bullets sent flying, but Surf is watching for the lurk, and Black Wiz is dealt with.
That is a major win condition for XERXIA, both getting Surf online and shutting down Black Wiz if he goes for those aggressive lurks. And now questions being asked. What does Northeption do in the 4v5? They knew that there was a stack over towards B early. They knew there was at least 3 players here, and Meteor just spammed through the smoke.
The deep Sky Flash is a full committal into it, but the nade does so much work. Decay as they run through the walls. It all comes tumbling down. A pistol round gained for XERXIA.
Sushi Boy's just casually doubling his kills from the first half with 1 nade there. Not too shabby whatsoever. But it's Surf that really shuts down the play that was happening on the other side of the map. And a good game plan, I think, overall, with XERXIA having that heavy stack over towards long, getting the read, crushing their sight hit.
Oh my goodness.
Northeption with no spike plant, no opportunity to force coming into this one. So barring anything crazy occurring, we're expecting XERXIA to take an incredibly important lead.
Yeah. Has to be essentially the full eco. Surf eats a ton of damage, but he does get away with a kill. On the other side, you can see Meteor. He did invest into the half armor and a couple of headhunter bullets, maybe enough to turn the tide of this round, but it's going to take more than that. The satchel! Oh my word. It sets him up.
Frame perfect satchel? that was very nice from Sushi Boys. Supporting himself and XERXIA a clean sweep. A prime game in flawless. And both of these teams, Brent, not only are they playing for elimination right here in the second half of Bind, but they each have another team in their region that's done more, achieved more. They live in the shadow of these big brother figures in APAC and Japan. And each one of them wants to make their own story. It's more than just eliminating the other. It's being the team that people respect.
Yeah, taking the win and carrying it home all the way. It's the hopes and dreams, I think, for both of these teams who make it. They travel so far to get to these global events.
And going out in last place would be devastating for that.
Fast approach once more. There's the snake bite. Trailblazer dodging, juking, biding his time. Holding close to it, but with the trademark destroyed, that's just spam. They anticipate the lurk.
Yeah, the timing too obvious there from Black Wiz. As soon as he breaks the trademark, walks into the sight line, and you very rarely see people die going for that. Maybe take a chunk of damage and back off, but Black Wiz trying to force the issue now on the pistol and the bonus.
Northeption. They've had a stellar record when it comes to trying to convert these buy rounds into these bonuses, but now a lot of damage being dealt. All these players just swarming through. Meteor finds a good one. Foxy falling. Teleport in play as well. Looks like they want to try and pivot into B.
I think they know that Zen is still around here. but Surf might still have a lot on his plate. No, in fact, the Spike and the rest of the Northeption players coming back over to A. I'm pretty sure Sushi Boys is aware of this. Still watching Lamps, didn't hear enough people teleporting.
Yeah.
And Crew's positioning again is so good. Similar to JoJo's in the other half. That Shower's position is very strong against a short repush.
It's so important. 2 smokes dropped.
But no one's watching Lamps.
Watch the timing! Oh my goodness. Using a nade to try and deny the plant. So much damage being done to them. Oh, Molly as well, just trying to buy a bit of space. 15 seconds left. Time is running so low. In fact, the Satchel denies it again. Push back off of the plant, and now pace is the name of the game. Running the way through. A bit of spam into the smoke. It's not enough to deal with the planter. All up to Cruz. The Spectre, not the best, is it? Long range fights. He's not suited to it.
There are 2 very weak players, but JoJo's trying to keep them safe.
I think there's positioning as well. Northeption, they know exactly how to play this. Doubled up just in case.
He has some time to work with.
Drops it down. Now there's a rifle. Spots the one, but there you go. From high and low, they clean it up, and they do get the round just barely.
And Northeption once more being exceptional at halting momentum, not allowing these bonus rounds to get converted. But there was damage done. That one got a little pricey. XERXIA might have done what they needed to have a good round 16. Northeption definitely playing a little bit with the teleporters, trying to allow Meteor to work solo picks. Yeah. Which isn't the same way that Surf was working. Surf was very much getting supported by the rest of his team, getting the operator into positions, and that's a weapon he has online again, as there is some short aggression.
Very deep smoke.
It's a 4-player stack A, and XERXIA are going for a bit of a gamble here. Sometimes these are gonna bite them.
Especially when Surf's got this operator. The rendezvous is just behind him, so he can escape if he gets pressured particularly heavily, but just wants to lock it down for now. Watching it, approaching the mid-round. It's a slow approach to this attack side.
Trailblazer coming down B long. Does it spot anybody? It does.
I think it does,
I think that saw Deriali. Is he going to prompt anybody to move off A? There's a minute on the clock. You haven't heard anything. Somebody needs to go and support Fox, I think. He only has an Ares holding down B. And B-site bind is the worst in the game to retake.
You can't go up this space. I mean, the Viper Wall is going to go up to try and help Fox, but he is very isolated. No teammates willing to help him out. The smokes are dropped, and it's just a spam. He knows it. Pure instinct to the angles to watch for. Gets maybe more than he was expecting. Back and forth, spamming him out. Spike as well being found, but that's the reload, and that triggers the push. JoJo straight through the smokes is going to be dealing with him. Very pesky play indeed. Forced to play this retake. So many players now just contacting, making a couple of footsteps. XERXIA need to try and make a bit of a move, but still the angle's being held. It's a jiggle. Deriali's given up his position, has to back away now and play with the rest of his team, but still, the pressure is on. A nade to push them back. Time, a bit of a whiffage, but the reset, the spray down, it does transfer correctly. Meteor gets the one, and it just feels like there's just not enough behind this with the retake.
Yeah, and the 4-player gamble over towards A from XERXIA just offered Northeption
good luck.
Too much of an easy post plant there. It's all right for the beginning of a round, but in an economic swing situation, to just allow them onto the B site, especially with how long they had Fox just stick around with the Ares. I'm not sure what the call was there, but Northeption very happy to get a free post plant off. They're hyped.
Yeah, essentially handed the site with that one.
Perhaps it'll make them cautious that there could be gamble stacks on rounds like this.
I've got your trail.
Pure eco.
Surf's got to find a shot off here. You can feel it. The pressure's on him because he's just sticking around for so long here. He's just completely egoing the nade and the spam and the seeker. It's all offloaded.
He's the only chance his team has of winning this round, so I don't mind it, but not able to find anything here.
Losing control. Okay, getting the knives out, but it's looking more than just done.
And Deriali one away from his ultimate. Sushi as well. One orb away. Sure to get that by the end of this round. But it should be quite easy.
How does Sushi Boys isolate the 1v1? The question is answered. I mean, he doesn't. That's a prime game in Flawless. Northeption They are getting on the board. They have steadily taken this lead now. It was even all the way through the first half, and now you can start to feel it.
And it was relatively even in terms of the chamber head-to-head. There was an edge to Meteor on the defensive side, and that edge has only grown. Sure, he's had some opportunities where he's taken easier fights against eco players or whatever, but at the end of the day, he is the tip of the spear here, even more than Zen a lot of the time. And he is winning duels.
Yeah.
You want to play?
Not lacking in the confidence department. Willing to take the fight always. There's a bit of a bite. Look at that. Just a spam coming through onto the corner of it. The Boombot does tag onto the one player. It's just an early approach to see if they can take a bit of that extremity control, maybe force the players through, but now the op battle. Just a slight edge. Meteor can see the elbow sticking out and it gives him the advantage.
That's huge. I mean, that is just the model. Being slightly different.
Tiniest of shot to make.
The right elbow sticking out just a little bit. Beautiful shot. Very intelligent. And now this is going to break that A defense setup. Dog coming out over towards B as XERXIA try and figure out, is there actually anything behind this pick?
Contacted in, there's a Trailblazer. Nade off to the side. It's all up to Fox, see what he can do, but he's caught in the corner. This time his teammate's going to be responding. It's a showstopper that was committed into this one, but Scary's so late to the party. Just running his wee little legs all the way back, but he might be able to catch the timing still. He's going to be contacting it all the way into Meteor. You can't whiff that, but eventually he makes up for it.
Yeah, Scary had too much to do there. Zen in a position where he was just a tasty morsel of bait. Meteor swings back around to get his 21st kill across 18 rounds.
He's dominant.
He really is. Look how cautiously and tenderly he's taken the angle. And then here, the defensive setup is still decent. They have Fox in a position where he can flash.
Looks like they really wanted to fight that.
But I think, again, Sushi Boy sends in his ultimate. It gets one pick, and then instantly he just gets overwhelmed.
Yep.
And he's not able to have the impact that you would want from somebody we've seen previously at this event has star potential.
That is so much damage. The orb gained. It was read by Northeption. They just spam the smoke. They know that Surf's looking to try and get that Tour de Force online. But look at this, the Viper's Pit.
The Viper's Pit. Cruz, with his ultimate as well, they are really going to fight for this round. Looking to try and deny the plan. Sushi Boys!
Yeah,
Perfect Bucky range.
Yep, the shotgun in play, but an orbital strike to try and punish him. And they work their way around as Sushi Boy was just trying to just escape away from him. Black was, he had the angle, he had the sight line, and he had the rifle. Good damage being found, but Jojo okay, caught with the utility. Just trying to flash for his team.
Yeah, a bit weird there. He had an option that could have resulted in that win.
So precarious.
And now Cruz, they're investing all of the ultimates here.
I mean, why not? Potentially a winnable round. The orbital strike, it does give them the angle, but there's nobody to really follow it up. Cruz lurking, steady, ready and waiting, the patience. It pays off into one, but still they're dealing with it. They've got the angles locked. Another shot with the Sheriff. Can't find the gun, but it is the 2v1. 3 kills for Cruz. Nothing to deny to defuse.
And an awesome investment of ultimates there. Very good game plan and extremely well executed from XERXIA.
What a round to win for them.
They used everything in order to scavenge an eco together that keeps this crucial map. That is the difference between them advancing to face FPX again or being sent home. They use every ultimate to make sure that the gap is only one.
Yeah, one of the most vital rounds that we've seen in this series. A proper tipping point, just with the economy, the way the momentum's going. But look at that, 4 rounds in a row for Northeption. Finally stopped in its tracks with that.
It's going to be op-v-op again over at short.
They're going to be fighting each other right away, aren't they? Look at this. Contact being played. That's a leg shot. Tries to answer back. Damage done, but no kills traded.
A small skirmish and both sides retreat. Licking their wounds. Ready for the next war.
Wants to hold this angle into lamps just in case there's a repick. With the wall up, they have been clearing this themselves just to see if they could catch a player who might have been watching and lurking up.
And with that early pressure towards A short, Foxy actually started to rotate onto A. And now Northeption have pumped the brakes, similarly to what they were doing on their split. On their Haven side, where their attack rounds were so good. And they're going in. Now they're going to go and put some pressure towards B. The spike remains A. This is in all likelihood going to be an A re-hit. But the XERXIA players are going to think that there's something behind this on B.
Yeah, they must do, right? The flash didn't connect. It only was on the Trailblazer, and players have now looked their way up. No positioning was given up.
Can Surf rendezvous to help the rest of his team? I think he's used it already. I think he used it too much.
But also they've just lost control of Lamps. I don't know if he would want to
No.
go into this one. But the Viper's Pit dropped down. Northeption could be setting themselves up.
Sushi Boys has the nade.
There's a nade to try and deny it. And the Brim Molly as well, just trying to be stuck. So
satchel.
much, but still backs away.
They
And
used
now 14
everything,
seconds
though.
left, Josh. The time is running so
Another
low into this
satchel.
one. The Molly just walks straight back into it. XERXIA ready for it. Fox just beams down two of them, and the swing is impeccable.
What a read, what a play. Fantastic utility
my
usage.
word.
And that's where the clock can be a major problem. XERXIA used everything there. They had the Brimstone Molly down on the plant. They used nade. The Sushi Boys used one satchel, two satchels, swung into it, sprayed into it. They were determined to ensure Northeption had no chance of getting that plant down, despite the fact they're in a pit.
What a response by Fox. I didn't even realize he whipped around 180 to catch that. Unreal scenes. Even in the series, and a timeout is called.
And not only is this going to be a timeout for Northeption to take a breather here and calm these players down that haven't played at an international stage before, but it's also going to be an option where they can talk to their coach and ask, what do we do here? Not just strategically, but do we invest? Is this a round that we want to fight for? Not everybody can full buy here, but are we really going to allow XERXIA to get 2 rounds away from match point?
It's a big risk. It's a big question they're going to be asking themselves. Not much time left in this timeout, but I think a breather was necessary. Just the way that you could feel these rounds playing out. Maybe a bit of panic setting in just in terms of how low the time was getting.
And I think also something that Northeption might want to adjust is more aggression on their site XX. I think the strategy in that round was pretty perfect, apart from the fact that they never pushed outside of the Viper's Pit to take back site.
Yeah.
I need to see Zenfree jumping into backside with double satchels, making space for Meteor so that the team can fight. But also, crucially, Brent, that question that we were asking, are they going to invest into this round? The answer is no. They're going for, you know, Guardian, Spectre, Sheriff, Light Armor.
The weaker buy.
But they are going to allow XERXIA to get up to 11 if they can convert the anti-eco.
Meteor might have something to say about it. There's a flash sent through into the teleport. Got to respect it. Backs away, and now that spam into the smoke. Feels very timid at the beginning of all of these rounds. Just both teams lobbing a bit of utility here and there, exchanging fire. But very fast to explode, I think, once the space is gained.
It's an interesting approach from Northeption, really dialing things back. And XERXIA are not afraid to go for these big rotates, just, you know, going for a hard read in the middle of the round. They don't have any good info that would lean towards this 3-player A stack. But they've gone for it anyway.
Yeah.
It might hurt.
All of that utility, this could hurt them, but Leg Shot going to be finding Zen. Orbital Strike even as well, just to make sure that they can split them up. And while all that was happening, guess what? Meteor lurking, finding his way into showers. The Seeker's popped off, they're going to know a lot of this positioning. Now, just peeking before the wall was up. Sushi Boys was given a perfect angle. Players caught with just their knives out, but the plant's still going to be dropped. Northeption could be finding a bit of work. The double satchel play, Sushi Boys. It's so aggressive. Where's the rest of his team to help? But there is the Molly. There is the answer.
And this is the level of impact I need to see from Sushi Boys. Sure, he goes down towards the end here, but he's set up a 2v1 for his team that they should be able to execute. And Fox grabs it. Sushi Boys there on the rotate, gets up to heaven, sprays down Meteor as he tries to get in through showers, then double blast packs to continue applying pressure onto the Northeption players. Using his utility superbly, grabbing a couple of kills off the bat as well. Really warming up on Bind and pushing XERXIA over the edge. Do you remember how Split went? All the way back at the beginning of this series where rounds were being traded in the second half, back and forth, and it was only in these final moments that XERXIA pulled ahead and got round after round, where finally the experience, the reads started coming through. XERXIA now have 3 on the trot.
And you can feel it. I think the hole in the series for Northeption just steadily slipping. The grip on it. The elimination match between them. That's a deep flash as well, but an even more aggressive take, but it's immediately punished. I mean, Jojo's just watching this one.
That's a nasty first headshot.
What a kill
from
to get.
Jojo. There's no form of fast reaction, though, across the rest of the map. You might expect somebody to quickly take hookah or burst down short when they realize there's a B long push, but Northeption are quiet, safe, working the 5v4, making the defenders sweat. The problem with this is they haven't actually found out where Surf is playing or pushed him off the line.
There's a lack of info on both sides. But an attempt is being made now. Northeption. That Sky Flash is going to give a lot of info for XERXIA, but still, the angle being watched, Surf. He finds his mark. Zen falls, Trailblazer up close and personal. They want to swing into this, and the stun, but the timing on it was just that much better. Orbital strike, I cannot believe that you're just willing to stand your ground, but Fox still gets the one.
And Derry Ali, using the molly, actually caught Surf as well, as he used his rendezvous and tried to escape. So somehow, some way, Northeption have broken into that B site, destroyed the anchors, and set up another tough B retake for XERXIA.
And the players, they're split in terms of their positioning. Scary just wants to see if he can get something done at elbow, but look at his crossfire here. The reality, I think, holding contact, it looks like with the operator.
2 players
Jojo
watching
just
halls. There's no one there.
Is on long, and yeah, that's going to be the angle found. Shot on top of it, and the smoke. Do they expect Cruz to be here at this point with time running so low? The answer is yes. Jojo was watching both elbow on that, and a flick finds it 11-11.
An awesome round from Jojo. He punishes the B long play and reads both of the retakers. Nicely done by Northeption. Just when it looked like they might be losing their grip, they are right back into things. Surf trying to, I mean, look at this. He's just inside the molly that's been thrown out based on his rendezvous location and, you know, trying to stop any retakers flooding into the site. And that's layered on top of a Brimbolt.
Cool, calm and collected. You can feel how both of these teams do not want to be going home just yet. They still have stories to tell. They want to make their own mark at Copenhagen. All the way down to the wall.
Northeption slow the pace down, and Sushi Boys
Get an antsy.
Yeah, getting antsy delivers Meteor a kill. And Bren, one of the biggest adaptations that Zeta Division made at Reykjavik was slowing their play down and allowing their opponents to make the mistakes. I think that was the single biggest strategic adjustment they learned at Masters.
But off this kill, I mean, they're really just starting to go a bit more fast. The Seeker is going to be spotting not just one of the players into showers, but they've lost control of bench, and that's Zen getting just the one kill. That was falling. Still, they have control of this, and they're still just trying to bait these swings. Northeption Jojo, what a star this guy has been.
He's found these moments to come alive at the end of the game. And Surf, he simply isn't given an opportunity here to even attempt the 1v4.
Forced to save, essentially.
XERXIA are now going to be losing 2 rounds in a row, which means their economy is in a bit of a wonky spot. If Surf dies here, you know, if anyone did chase him down, there'd be no potential for an operator.
Yeah, and the rounds, I mean, it is going to be a match point for Northeption. If they hunt out Surf, it is an absolute killer for XERXIA.
And XERXIA's story at Masters before has been the upset team. The team that comes in, they've made playoffs before of Champions, and they've taken some big scalps. This time around weren't quite able to do that against FPX. It was so close. They went to OT. It was by a hair's breadth that they lost.
So even.
And now here against Northeption, they would love to be able to pull things back into overtime as well. And give as good as they get. XERXIA always turn up to these events, and it feels like they have something to prove, a scalp to gain. Be criminal to see them go out 0-2.
Yeah, now's the time to do it. They do have something to prove.
But look at this buy, it's so shoddy.
Buy, it's just dire, isn't it?
And these are the rough buys that force, or it makes the players think they have to go for plays.
Yeah.
And Northeption are just holding for it again. So slow, so patient.
Boombot. Just catches onto Meteor, deals with it though. Now the Seekers into this mid-round. Might be trying to just put something behind it, but the flash, the position, it just did not catch onto Surf.
It's so smart.
What an opening. It's not over just yet though, Josh. Showstopper now just offloaded. Sushi Boy's just smart enough to just hold on to this one. Wants to just try and buy time. Walking back into the molly. Once again, another satchel, and you can feel the pressure, the panic settling in.
Thankfully for XERXIA though, Northeption have let their foot off the gas just a little bit. It's 4v4, and they're going back to re-explore these areas on B.
Still
Right here.
40 seconds remaining. No space really being gained, but now they're starting to steadily work their way in. Northeption can feel it.
It
On
looks
the
like
precipice of taking the series.
it does look like overtime is going to be in the hands here of Cruz and Scary.
30 seconds
We've heard so much about Scary, seen him
gotta
pop
lock
off
it
at APAC.
Place inside of his own smoke. What a timing, and what a risk to take. The flash though pushes Scary back. He has to know that there are players deep onto the site, but the nade pushes them back. Now a snake bite up close and personal, but a spike has been committed, and the weaponry, it's just not good enough. Is there going to be an answer? Is there going to be a response? XERXIA, they've got the players now in, Sushi Boys and Scary, and they have to know where he is. Dealt with effectively, they're going to bring it to that OT.
What a play! Insane stuff coming out from Cruz inside his smoke, and they just never dealt with Scary. The biggest difference there being that the B players didn't fight and give up the site. Scary just stayed alive the whole time. Is there any need for that in the replay package? But I think it shows you how jittery the XERXIA players were a little bit, but Sushi Boy still being able to deliver at the end of that round. And they push things to OT. Neither of these teams are ready to go home. They have so much more to do, so much more to achieve.
Would we have it any other way? For some of these players as well, I mean, this can be one of the defining moments in their entire careers for this year. Northeption, they've never faced OT in Stage 2.
I mean, that is just absurd, isn't it? They have been either demolishing teams in Japan, though, or losing the rounds, losing the maps fairly convincingly. Finding that stability is key when you come to international tournaments, and I think this compositional change made a bit of the difference. Meteor's gone for the operator on the defense, locking down that B-long position. Northeption, when they were playing their defensive half, just allowed Meteor to hold B-long, and they were going for 4 stacks on A. This time Meteor does still have Deriali with it.
A bit of support, that flash does push the angle back.
And it's a good job.
Have to respect it.
Trailblazer through the teleporter there. I don't believe it saw the XERXIA players. So Northeption are keeping 3 on A.
No one really holding deep into Hookah, but smokes are dropped down, and now this is going to signal it. The hit has to start coming through. The nade, it rebounds right into Meteor, almost going down to it. Bit of a dangerous scenario, but still wants to lock down that one angle into the smoke. Still returns. That's going to be the trade. The players, they're in. XERXIA swarming, and Deriali, what a task he has to try and hold this one. For the rest of his teams, he still gets one for them.
30 seconds left.
And it's a 2v2 retake, but the spike not yet planted. Northeption
Planted.
with a small timing that they could have taken to get into the site. Now Surf in first contact.
Last player standing.
What a shot. It's all up to Scary. The 1v2, the one-way orb. Just cutting off that sight, that angle.
No way.
Does he know? Is he really going to be taking this fight? Is he going to be pushing into this, just holding it? Maybe expecting it, but back to the wall. It could come down to the timing. He catches the shot. And now look at this. Zen, he's got to do some work. He's got to find it, but a quick wiggle to sidestep the movement. A Red Bull clutch for Scary. The 1v2 comes out in his favor.
Switching sides.
The most important time for Scary to come alive. He was sat down there at the bottom of the scoreboard, but he's been a beast in the clutch in Stage 2. He is just a beast of a player in general. Hasn't always been able to show it, but there could not have been a better time for him to win a 1v2 like that. Look at the rest of XERXIA, almost in prayer positions.
Yeah.
Banking on their player,
Who can blame
who's come
him?
through so often for them in Stage 2.
Who can blame him?
Scary is pretty crazy in those clutch scenarios. He's got like a decent win rate in 1v2s, 80% win rate in 1v1s.
Yeah.
He's just good for it in those moments.
super intelligent when it comes to it. And now a tech pause.
Oh, what a time for it.
Match point for XERXIA in the OT, the first round of OT. I mean, listen, Northeption going to get some time to think, but okay, just going straight into the XERXIA timeout here.
Very small tech pause, but this one is tactical. So at the end of this, we will be going back into the game. It's XERXIA taking a moment to pause, breathe, and ensure that they convert on this, the first of their match points.
Don't let this opportunity escape away from you. Well, we said it previously in this series when we're talking about it. You know, sometimes those match points, that one round that you need to push it over the edge, it can evade you.
Yeah.
It can be difficult to just find the tipping point to eventually just secure the win.
And Northeption looked at some points in this map like they were in the driver's seat, but they've allowed XERXIA to get back, to get to OT, now to get to match point. Does Northeption have it in them to keep this one going, to keep themselves, their dream alive? They've never been on the back foot like this before. The grand finals against Ada Division, they dominated the maps that they won.
Yeah.
They weren't put in positions like this with the pressure mounting. They always had momentum.
Of course, they've got that stage experience, but on the global stage, it's one thing entirely.
And XERXIA are not cowed by being on match point. They've taken their time out. They're going for short aggression.
Yep. Surf just, look at this contact peak. He's all the way pushed so deep. Information going to be gained for the rest of the team, and they've got the crossfire and angles held down. They got to know. The Northeption, they're just leaning over towards B.
But there's only 2 players there. Oh, these players pushing. Sushi Boys and Fox. It's Cruz and Scary's responsibility to simply live here as the rest of their team gathers incredible information.
Look where Fox is. Look at where Fox is. He's all the way into the cave system. Catching this lurk and this wraparound, man. I mean,
do Northeption have any idea? Does Meteor have any idea? The rest of the players somewhat safe up towards sand.
This could be the backbreaker, but they open it up.
He finds the opening kill.
Cruz will fall, spam into the corner. Scary is in such trouble, but the satchel, it whiffs still. A flick to the side. Surf wants to watch it though. Operator, he finds the kill and a flick up, finally respecting it enough to teleport, but Meteor is already in your spawn. Relentless.
Incredible push from Meteor. Finds the opener, up through elbow, constant pressure applied. And that flank, it found nothing.
No, the timing just off about it. Northeption were already deep into the side, already committing, and look at that Meteor, just able to re-clear that space. Full confidence, and they bring it to another round of OT.
Switching sides. Overtime.
Meteor at 27 kills, a 2 KD. Putting the rest of his team on his back for that round as he finds the opener with essentially no assistance, just working B on his own. And that failed satchel almost helped them to some degree.
Yeah.
Because he got the spot onto Scary.
Got information.
But the push as well from Meteor, if he finds his moments and he catches players off guard as he did to Surf there, it just looks unstoppable.
A round beginning here. Second one of OT. The teams are already jumping straight into it, but luckily, slow play on either side.
Yeah, not too much happening, as XERXIA take a page out of the slow default book. Same kind of story from the Northeption defense, putting a really heavy emphasis on hookah control, and Meteor re-pushes after the flash.
This is just...
What a read!
This is just demonic.
What a read that flash had nothing behind it.
All this space that's going to be gained.
Unfortunately, though, his smoke player is not in position to smoke this trademark off at all.
Yeah.
He might just end up paralyzed in the round, stuck at market.
I can hold this position, crouched, slide off angle, expecting players to maybe walk into him.
And in some sense, it might even be better just to play to contain. 4-stack A. XERXIA don't know what's waiting for them.
No, they really don't. The threat that's coming. Trademark gets broken, actually. He's just going to be hard committing now, moving his way through the case, because this is going to be the push that's committed. XERXIA, they need to take backside control, but it's just being watched. There's no utility. Nothing to supplement it into the back of the site.
And XERXIA are befuddled. What was that? The meat grinder that they walked into. How did they know to stack 4 players there? It's all Meteor, baby.
Yeah.
It's all Meteor. When you have that level of individual ability, it breeds confidence. And when you have that level of confidence, you go for plays like that. Disrespecting the utility on the side of XERXIA gets him the push, down sand, all the information. to inform the stack. And that was simple. It was trivial.
Yeah, they just knew what was coming. The setup was there.
And I feel like I've seen this story before, bro.
Oh, I've seen it.
Northeption.
I've definitely seen it before.
Japanese representatives looking to punch upwards for sure here. XERXIA, I would say, are in the same tier bracket as Northeption, but with tons more experience, more time together as a roster. Definitely Northeption punching up in this game. And they find themselves with their first match point.
An opportunity before them to try and close out this series, to win the elimination match. They'll send XERXIA home. This is it. That's why the timeout's being called. Cooking something up, some sort of plan of action. XERXIA, I mean, they're just stewing, aren't they?
They really are. I think they'll be benefiting somewhat from the timeout as well. Of course, as a pro, you need to always have that ability to calm yourself down in these moments. Mastering the mental game, one of the most difficult but crucial elements of competing at this level.
But one more step. Northeption will be looking like they can take this series. The battle lines are drawn, the teams, they look like they want to try and meet over towards B long here. Just dodging the Sky Flash, not giving away too much information. Oh, but Northeption pushing up forwards. It's going to be the wide swing, no kill to be found. No players dispatched, but at least sent straight back with the teleport. Now the Trailblazer, there is going to be a lot behind this one. Pushing forward to the utility, the anti-flash position Surf, falling so low in Northeption, they can feel it. Ready and waiting.
Foxy couldn't get it. Scary gets picked, trying to come through the wall.
It's all up to Sushi, boys.
The one way.
And they just can't stand up to it. 10 health. Northeption, they can feel it, and a spam through the wall. The wall bang will finalize it. What a way to make their mark.
Northeption have another life in the tournament. They continue, they progress, and it's XERXIA that gets sent home